Hi everyone. In this given problem statement of a permutation, we are given an array nums of distinct integer. Return the all possible permutation. You may return the answer in any order. So if I had to draw a recursive graph or recursive tree, how it is going to look. So initially we are going to have the values of 1, 2 and 3. At the first case, I can perform a swap and swap the values of 1 and 1, which is going to give me value of 1, 2 and 3. I can also swap it on 1, 2, which is going to give me value of 1, which is going to give me a value of 2, 1 and 3. And I can perform another swap, which is going to happen on 1 and 3. And I'm going to get the value of 3, 2 and 1. Once that is done, right, in this swap one, I can again swap it on two more ways. I can swap because 1, 1 is done, right? I can swap on, let me do it as 2, 2 and 2, 3. Here also I can say 2, 2 and 2, 3, 2, 2 and 2, 3. And this is a swap case. So if I do it on 2 and 2, the value I am going to get is 1, 2 and 3. If I do 2 and 3, it would be 1, 3 and 2. So we got our two values out here. Now again on 2 and 2, the value output I'm going to get is 2, 1, 3 and 2, 3, 1. So these two values also I record. Now I'm going to get 3, 2 and 1. And in this case it would be 3, 1 and 2. So I'm going to get these two values also. Now if you're able to see the code right, our result is the present in the root of our recursive tree. So here, right, if I create a backtracking function, if let's say backtrack, and here I'm going to pass in the index. So the base case would be if my current index is equal to the length of my nums, then I can say result dot append nums, and because it's a pass by reference, right, you have to store the value, so you get to create a copy and store the value. So I'm going to do that. Now I can create a for loop. So for I in range, I can say from index to length of our nums. The first thing I'm going to do, right, I have to say nums of start and nums of I equal to, so I have to swap the values, so nums of I and nums of start. So here if you're able to see, right, how the swapping is happening. So that is the case. Then I'm going to call the backtrack function, and here I'm going to say start plus 1. And again, right, once the backtracking function is called, right, we have to again go back. So for that, right, it would be again, because here, right, there are two possibilities you can see. So nums of start and nums of I equal to nums of I and nums of start. So that is the base condition. And if I look into the complexity, I think it would be n into n factorial, if I'm not wrong. So this would be the time complexity of it, because here there are so many ways, right, we can perform the backtracking, and it's a very complex kind of a solution. So you need to have a good understanding of how recursion works so that you can solve this type of problems. Now let us jump to the Python solution, where I think things are going to get even more clearer for you. The first thing we need to do, right, we have to create our result, which would be an empty list. And then let me create the backtrack function. So it is going to have the start, or let's say I can pass in index, which we are going to do. Our base condition, right, let me say n equal to length of nums. So if my start is equal to n, so that basically means, right, all the swapping I have already performed and reached the last index. So in that case, I can say res dot append nums, and I can return it. Else in normal case, it's for I in range start to n, and here the first thing is nums of start comma nums of I. So I have to do the swapping. So it would be nums of I and nums of start. I have to call the backtrack function. So whatever index I am already, right, it would be again start plus 1, and again I have to revert back. So it would be start nums of I equal to nums of I and nums of start. So that's basic it. So I have to initialize the value. So backtrack, the initial value would be 0, and I can return the result. Let me run the code. I hope it should work unless there are some spelling errors. As you could see, it ran successfully. Let me submit the code. So the code submission is successful. So that's all for this video. See you in the next one.